Yo, so a man says to me, why are you so fired up? I said, man, have you ever been to a fire? Have you ever just pulled up on the scene and like a house is on fire? That's it. That's all you know. Is there someone in there? Or are you gonna go look? You know, depending on where we're at. You know, is this thing fixed to collapse? Is this fixed to collapse? How am I dressed? You know, what can I do here? Go in there. Is anybody home? You know what I mean? Do I need to open this door? Do I need to shut the door? Slow down the fire? What's going on? There's an urgency. There is an urgency. Okay? And then you got people that say, oh, well, you know, you got to have purpose in your life. Okay? And then for a person to find out their purpose and to look into themselves to find that, oftentimes is a giant waste of time. Gigantic waste of time. People tell me I'm good at this and I'm good at that. Perhaps I was made to do this and that because I'm naturally gifted in those areas. Perhaps that has a large amount to do with your purpose. Just maybe. Okay? We don't see what we don't see because it's right in front of us. It's so obvious that we're looking everywhere else. I looked for this phone for 20 minutes the other day because something was playing and I turned it off, did whatever else I was doing, and they couldn't find it. And it was sitting right in front of me. All the ladies out there, explain this to your husband, how you find the mustard but we can't, or whatever. Okay, so my purpose is directly connected to my mission, and then as a human I want to belong, type of deal. But we need to get our priorities straight here. Okay, so I need to look at God to find my purpose and my mission, because I'm a flawed individual, but God is perfection. So if I look at perfection and emulate that through the different channels that I'm geared towards, then it starts revealing itself to me. So I'm not looking at me to try to figure this out. I'm going to look at God to try to figure this out, and I'm going to pay attention to what is extremely obvious, right? Like I'm driving down the highway right now. Pretty sure that's grass. Pretty sure it's raining. If I drive this truck out in that grass, I'm going to get stuck. If I leave the highway at 70 miles an hour, in the process of getting stuck, I'm liable to turn this truck over 13 ways from Sunday and have a severe problem. So, pretty obvious I should stay in my lane, use my blinkers, have the lights on. Obvious. Okay? One of my skill sets is driving. I've honed that to a point of professional on many stage. So I might know a thing or two about driving. And then if it fits my mission and my purpose, I can share that with other people with similar talents on similar paths. But what I'm doing is I'm moving freight. So when you go to the store to buy stuff, you have stuff on the shelf. So I'm fulfilling an essential role in my environment, which means people will pay me money. And also, whether they like it or not, they will continue to find a way to pay me to do what I do because they need stuff. Whether it's the factory or the retail or the consumer, they need the truck to move the freight. Okay, so if I want to take this to the next level and have a trucking company, the point of having a trucking company is to move freight. So perhaps I should have freight to move before trying to be the truck. You know what I mean? Like, they're literally, the drivers today, they literally get the cart before the horse. The tail is wagging the dog. However you want to say it. They buy a truck, and they come out here, and they try to drive around, make $1 million, but they don't have no freight. And then the guy with the freight says, "Gee, I ain't gonna pay you that much." And now you can't pay for your truck payment. They have this thing called a farm. Farm needs inputs and needs to take stuff to market. To do that requires a truck. So maybe I should drive the truck and buy the farm to produce something, and then the farm buys a truck and moves the farm's goods, and maybe put something in the trailer all the way back and deliver it to wherever. Maybe, you know, find somebody that's good with the bleep blop bloops and, you know, become a freight broker. You know what I mean? And broker this freight from one place to the next. Maybe from one place to the next crosses an international border and is a giant pain in the neck with the paperwork. Perhaps, just perhaps, a person can know how to do that and then get their raw goods to the manufacturing places and then get their product back to the consumer and pay themselves a wage. You see what I'm saying? So all this goes towards purpose. You know what I mean? And like, you need a general overview. Like sure, you can just buy stock in the S&P 500. They just let it ride, whatever. Cool. That's one way of doing it. A lot of people really, really wealthy doing that. And from what I've seen in 2008, you know, my uncle had all kinds of stuff, and it was tied up and this, that, and the other. They did like 9/11, you know what I'm saying? And like freaking, you know, all this other stuff. And the American Airlines stock went extremely low, and the management people took what was left. So he cashes out this deal to try to pay a doctor to take care of his wife while she's on her deathbed. You know what I mean? And now, you know, all the money's gone. The problems are gone. Now she's gone. And he's over there with his foot cut off, diabetes, living in a house that will never be paid off because he had to refinance the house. So the whole S&P 500 and all that, I'm good. No thank you. I'd rather lay my hands on something tangible, like a cow. You know what I mean? If I could go out to my cow, squeeze its teat, and make butter and milk, and eat the calves that come out of it once a year. How many calves do I need? 5? If I had 5 cows, you know what I mean? And the neighbor's got a bull, right? I mean, and then I got a truck and trailer to haul that. And I use the truck and trailer to lease on to someplace. I just use the tractor. I leave my trailer at home, and I do like a power-only lease onto a place like Unimex and move international freight with my W900 Kenworth, or in this case a T680 Kenworth. Make it make sense, because the farm, which happens to be real estate, has a house on it that I can rent out, so somebody else can live there, watch my cows while I'm driving around. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can develop this thing and develop and develop and develop into a strategy, and then it takes a lot of money to do this stuff. So how am I going to do this? Okay, well, make it make sense, right? So I'm looking at all this stuff, and I says to myself, I said, self, I've been incredibly, my head leans towards world domination. It always has. I don't know why. Like, I was geared to try to take over the world. Like, I'm the brain for Pinky and the Brain. What are we going to do today? Try to take over the world. Like, when that came out, I was already like, I don't know, 20. But I seen some of the videos where it was like that. And I was like, I I see a lot of similarities here. Like I studied Genghis Khan and all these other people and how they did this, how they did that. But my whole life, I was beat down through lack of stable family and through a poor relationship with food and alcohol and stuff like that. So like I was, afraid of rejection to the point where I was like, I'm not going to let you reject me, F you. So like I developed F you money in the 80s because like barter and stuff, right? Like I didn't care about all this other kind of stuff. I will go to the underground and get it how you live. And that is a certain skill set that develops and everything like that. And a rebellion, a deep-seated rebellion from everything. And I felt like something was trying to kill me. And then eventually I read the Bible. It's like the devil is trying to kill, steal, and destroy. I was like, I knew it. I knew it. I've known it since I was 4. Something is trying to kill me. And there's something trying to kill me. The earth with events. The plants. The ticks, the chiggers, the heat, the cold, the neighbor, the person that wants my girlfriend, whatever. My girlfriend went off pregnant. And, 11 years later, they're like, we're sending you to prison. Okay, I guess. I'll see you when you catch me. MFR type of deal. Way back in the back of my personality was like, help me God. Didn't even know it. Didn't even know it. Way back. Way back. I would share my food. My parents convinced me that I had an imaginary friend. That's what they told me. And then after Bible study and everything like that, I literally think that before I was old enough to go to kindergarten, I was literally sharing my lunch with the Holy Ghost. I built a tabernacle, the whole 9 yards. Like my dad would be gone, I'd just pull nails and straighten nails out, and I'd build like a fort in the woods. And I had this carpet thing, and I remember opening that carpet up and saying, "Come on in." I'd go in there and I'd cut my sandwich in half or whatever if I had a plate. Like I would make it into 2, and I would go out there and eat with my friend. And the whole time I'm just like at the end of the dirt road, like I got crushed in between my toes because we don't have running water. I don't have socks. I'm lucky to have shoes, man. And they're like, take your shoes off. You can't get on the basketball court because you'll scar it up. I take my shoe off, it looks like Bigfoot's foot. You know what I mean? I got like dirty crust, like, almost scab-like on the edges of my toenails. So I haven't washed my feet for a week or more. You know what I mean? You can wash it, put my foot back in that shoe. 30 minutes later, I got crust in between my toes because like dirt. Not like any kind of fungus or whatever else like that. Just I lived on a dirt road. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't realize it. But like, just any type of shoe, boot, whatever, anything, just upgrade from sandal, no socks, live on a dirt road for one summer in Oklahoma, you will understand what crusty toes look like. You can put a clean foot straight out of the bathtub, dry your foot off, put your boots on. At lunch, take your boot off. You will have dirt between your toes. It's a thing. You know what I mean? And, anyways. So, I was thinking one time, I was like, man, I was talking to somebody, I said, if I was going to go to like Mexico, which are just trying to take over, like me, you, and Bubba, we're going to take Mexico. We're not going to, if we go down there and just like pull pistols, they're going to shoot the ass off of us and we ain't going to make it, you know what I mean? But if I go down there It's funny too, because now I work right on the Mexican border. That's why I'm laughing so much. But if I go down there and just affect the culture, and with time and diligence, I probably could take over Mexico. You know what I mean? And it's so funny that looking back. I mean, this was 30 years ago, and you know, buddies just sitting around, you know, smoking pot, with deep thought, smoking pot. The more you know. Anyway, that's terrible. I shouldn't say it that way, but it's true. It's what happened. That's the path that you know, my clay turned into a pot. Now, with deep-seated regret and self-loathing and blaming myself for things that were not my fault, but because I was in the position, it took me to a certain level that's just like ridiculous. And when I mean ridiculous, I mean like my son died and I felt responsible, like any dad would. But I couldn't tolerate. You know what I mean? Like it's oh man, I know things about death and I hope that nobody knows. Anyway, just because, you know, I buy a vehicle, somebody else is driving it, they wreck, they die, that death is my fault, right? To me, I mean, there's no difference to me. If I load you my pickup, you wreck my pickup, and you kill somebody, in my head, it registers the same as if I kicked the door open and just shot somebody in the face. To me. So I felt that level of guilt. But I know that we went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, say goodbye. And we're like, goodbye. And he's just sitting there flopping. And they pushed that air in there, took another syringe, pushed air in there, his heart stopped, and he died. That's literally what happened. I was there, I seen it. And to this day, I think there was a cover-up. And I think that they tried to make there was like 3 different ways they were pointing the finger at each other. And about 5 ways they was trying to point the finger at me and my wife. And she was, the first wife was unstable. She's stable now, but at the time, very difficult. And, you know, your kid just died, and you're unstable, right? Anyways, that's a whole thing. But I took it to heart like, man, the enemy has killed my child. Okay? Like, I hope you do not understand what I'm saying right now. But put yourself in the prison. Go look at your kid. Imagine the kid goes into a surgery, it don't work out, the kid is dead. And you're too stupid to pray for the kid. You're too ignorant in the moment. You know what I mean? That's it's brutal. I mean, like, there's not, it's unarticulable. And then, do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? And take care of the rest of it. I hope nobody goes. I wouldn't wish my life on nobody. I really wouldn't. I really would not. I mean, seriously, like I would. If I seen somebody else going through the things that I've endured, like I would kick somebody's ass in the attempt to rescue that person. For real. And then I see the things that's tolerated today where they're just like, they send their kids somewhere to be indoctrinated to be some kind of, you know, cut your wiener off pervert type of thing. And I'm just like, God's going to kill us all for tolerating this thing. And I pray about it. And I literally, and this is no shit, I'll say this publicly, I'll say this in front of God and everybody. I'm like, God, do you want me to go kill them? No hyperbole. The people making it somehow legit to mutilate children, should I remove them from the earth and all that's like them? never get a confirmation to do that, or that's what I would do for a fact. I trust His plan. That's the only reason why I'm still doing what I'm doing, the way I'm doing it, and everything else like that. You know what I mean? God seeks best, and mankind is a different entity than an individual. And then for the individuals, you got to remember that God is seeking best, not good, best for everybody. I mean, here's a complicated thing. They open the border, all these people come to America. Now they close the border and they're trying to send them all back. Well, what if all those people heard the genuine gospel and we acted like actual Christians? And then these people took the gospel back to where it come from. This is state-financed evangelical Christian done properly. Done improperly, this is epic shit show. And ridiculous. And then when you see that people protesting with the Mexican flags, and man, they're protesting the cartels. They don't want to go home because the cartels are killing people. You know, the murder, death, kill thing, the steal, kill, and destroy. You know what I mean? Like if you come from some place where you're dealing with cartels, and then you go to another place where they're like, work in this factory for $12 an hour, and you get off work, and you walk home in safety, and then like you buy some flour for, you know, $5, and like you make your tacos with your family, and you eat the tacos, you're like, you know what, this ain't that bad. You see some people on TV like, man, you mean if I work hard I could have a brand new Ford pickup? Wow, that's great. You know what I'm saying? And then somebody comes along and says, oh, you can't do this no more, you got to go back to, you know, the cartel run state of Mexico. But you don't know how to articulate that. You don't know how to say, we want the Second Amendment. We want the United States Constitution in Mexico. And then the people of Canada, they're like, we want the United States Constitution. Because what they really want is God. They want to recognize God-given rights as a human being. And that's what we're supposed to take throughout the world. You know what I mean? And because that person that made that law that said that it's okay to cut Jimmy's dick off, I want to kill that guy. But I'm not God. I didn't read in the Bible anything about, you know, choose for thyself and be a judge, jury, and executioner. Didn't hear nothing about that. Missed that part. I've looked thoroughly, wanting it to be there, and it's not. That's up to God. That's up to God. And God puts the people in power over us. God, His blessing or judgment is specifically good politicians or bad politicians. You see it all through the Bible. The more that they got corrupt, the worse the leadership got corrupt. The more that the public was righteous, the more the government was righteous. So my mission is to take over the earth for Jesus. The morals and ethics demonstrated by Jesus Christ in the New Testament. The morals and ethics demonstrated by Jesus Christ in the New Testament. I want to mirror that in my life, in my job, in my ministry, and I know that that culture can take over the entire earth. And then humanity will be better off. And that is not some kind of, you know, white savior complex, I guess they tried to call it. I am not saving nobody. If you want me to save you, you're looking at the wrong spot. There's signs on the side of the highway that say, you know, right here, here's one, South 281. Okay? But I'm over here driving on the pavement. I see the sign on the side of the road. I am your sign. I am not the way. I am not the truth and the life. I am a sign flashing. Read the Bible for yourself. Read the Word and let the Word be your teacher. Oh, it's just it. Read the Word for yourself. Let the Word be your teacher. Surround yourself with people that are on the same mission that you're on, right? Look at what you're built to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just watched this thing on the Fat Electrician, and he's got some serious Christian content lately. And, you know, some of the most epic soldiers, like Roy Benavidez, Alvin, and Audie Murphy, and yeah, it's epic. And then like on the Fat Files, which is his other channel, he just did a thing about Hobby Lobby. You know what I mean? And look at this dude gaming the system. Like, you know, all he did was get knickknacks, because women like knickknacks, and then like his product don't go bad. So you get some stuff for Christmas, put it on the shelf. It's not Christmas no more. You take it off the shelf, put it in the warehouse, then you put it back on the shelf next Christmas. It's kind of perfect. And then this dude like beat the tax system by, you know, being generous and giving. You know, so he bought a bunch of stuff, artifacts and stuff like that, and then donates it to a museum. And then like he wanted to collect this stuff. So like he built a museum and donated it to himself, which is a tax write-off. You know what I mean? And to buy his stuff, he bought all the old Kmarts. So as Kmart's going out of business, he's buying these things up. This is just a frugal man with Christian values. And then there was a big stink about his health stuff, and all he said was he ain't going to buy abortion pills, like the morning after and the month after pill. Like contraceptions and all the other kind of stuff, yeah, he's fine with that. But like once a baby is a baby, he's not going to kill it. Which again is Christian values. Like, and this dude just puts together this whole thing. And now here's us as Christians. We get to see these examples, and we can show these examples to these other people. The morals and ethics of Jesus. Those guidelines, love your neighbor, love yourself. You know what I mean? I can't love myself if I have a bad relationship with food. If I'm emotionally involved and like eating is an event, not a necessity. It's good to celebrate, don't get me wrong, you know. But if I'm morbidly obese, something's out of whack. So I want to shift back into alignment with the way it's supposed to be, with the way of Jesus. You know, so as I do that and I see that and I'm out here going and doing stuff, I'm trying to take over the earth for Jesus. But God's trying to give me a good experience on earth. And those two paths cross, and He shows me my purpose in those moments. When he makes a way where there shouldn't be a way. Or when He shuts a door that I want open. I want that door open so bad. But He keeps it shut. And I don't know why. But I trust Him that it's best. And that could be a suddenly. That could be a long and drawn out. But I trust that He's a good, good Father. I trust that. I know that because of evidence. The same way I know anything. This is my hand. You know, that's grass. You know, I'm driving on asphalt. You know, that's a reflector. That's a palm tree. Whatever. I know those things because of the evidence. And then the evidence is what it is. And then people name it. So I choose to call this a hand, but somebody else might call it something else in a different language. But we're still saying hand. And then knowing that the numbers go past the translations. A 5 is 5. And in Chinese it's 5. And in Japanese it's 5. 5 is 5. Hand is hand. But when things go hand in hand, the meaning can be lost in the translation. So I could go hand in hand, and somebody take that as a handshake. I could go hand in hand, meaning that, peas and carrots go together good on your plate. But in Zimbabwe, I say hand in hand. It can mean something different. In the inner city, I can say hand to hand, and they'll think that you're like trading drugs for cash. Like hand to hand transactions. You know what I mean? And it's like, there's all this nuance. So as you read the Bible and you get this accurate nuance, it's amazing. And then when you see the English interpret it, and then the puns of today versus yonder, and you can see different things. And you read it 11 times. This Bible, 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 this Bible. And now you're seeing all these angles, visualizing what's going on here, breaking it down. So you get the gist, then you break it down. Here's this, here's that, here's this, here's that. So you went from, I walked into the room and it was a buffet. You break that all the way down to, this is the meat section. Okay, here's rotisserie chicken. And then you take that all the way back to how was it produced? What was the recipe? What was the spices? What was the heat? For how long? How does the rotisserie work? Where did the electric come from? And you take the time to look at that. Whatever subject it is that gets your mind going. That's because I'm looking at God and I'm seeing my attributes. I might not care about rotisserie chicken and electricity. I might just enjoy baseball. I might be, into painting or whatever. Chances are you're into about 57 different things. And if any 3 of them overlap, right there in the center of the overlap, if you can monetize that, you're going to have more satisfaction in your life. And then take those skills to the next level. And if you'll walk in it, and you'll do it daily, reps and sets increase your age and stage into the nuance of what you're geared to go towards. You know what I mean? Like, I can drive this truck in reverse to California, but if I'll just turn it around, what the preacher say, you're petting the cat backwards. If what I'm saying to you is making you mad, turn the cat around and pet him the right way. I've never tried to pet a cat backwards before, but well, maybe I have. I don't know. Like I have rubbed them to make their hair stand up, whatever. Make it make sense for you. Does it make sense for you? Okay, and then can you teach somebody how to do it? You know what I'm saying? So you take this video for instance. I'm recently this week reassessing my relationship with food. I brought it up. This is the second video I brought it up in, and it's been less than 72 hours since I've attempted to even consider it and ponder. Where am I at with this thing? You know what I mean? I've said for years I eat to live, and then I researched spices and stuff to get necessary nutrient to build my body. Make sure my body has what it needs and that I can process those things. Because that makes sense. But I did not assess my emotional involvement with the food. You know what I mean? Like am I really upset about something else? And then I'm just overeating as a, self-destructive behavior. And then why am I self-destructive? What's the spirit behind that? Oh, that's that thing trying to kill me. It's been following me around. Oh, that's a devil. So now I name this thing, dis-ease. I name this thing disorder. I name this thing opponent, assailant, Satan, adversary, whatever degree. And then I'll look at its attributes and get to know it a little bit better so I can dial my scope in and kill it. don't want anything of the devil in my life. So I have to remove it. You know, the kingdom suffers force and the violent take it by force or something like that. You know what I mean? So if I gotta get violent and kill potatoes, you know what I mean? And then do I need to kill potatoes? Perhaps I just need to heal the potato and get rid of the lectins. Oh, well, there's all the nutrients in the dirt. Well, how much nutrient from the dirt do you need? I figured this out a long time ago with kale. My wife was like, feed me kale. I said, I said, how much was this stuff? She's like $9. I said, I think I can save you some money. She's like, oh yeah, how's that? I was like, well, you know how you're cooking a hamburger right there, and then you will put kale on it, and then it tastes like dirt, right? So just take your hamburger patty, take it off the grill, and just throw it in the grass. You know what I mean? Just throw it right straight in the dirt beside the grill. And then pick it up, put it on your butt, and just eat it with the dirt on there. You get that dirt for free. Turns out, years later, I'm just joking around. I'm like, it tastes like dirt. You'd be better off to just, you know, eat a little bit of dirt. Dirt don't hurt. Look at the kids. The kids that play in the dirt are more healthy when they get old. Well, through further research, it turns out that it was actually, you know, pretty close to, yeah. It wasn't the worst advice, not the best. Like I could actually get the sea salt with minerals and use that to salt my food, and then stay away from Pop-Tarts or whatever with all the ought-not in it. But then, like, why am I eating this stuff? Why am I under a certain stress and my go-to is ice cream? You know what I mean? Like why do I need to feel that comfort of a brownie after a hard day? Like, what's this emotional attachment with this food? And did somebody slick, like, tell me some shit Saturday morning watching cartoons? And then now I'm like, you know, morbidly obese because the scientist at Kellogg's? What? Who's Kellogg? Who is the scientist? Kellogg? What do you mean Philip Morris is making food now? I thought they made cigarettes. And it all starts coming together. Ride the bike real fast because it says Mountain Dew. Smoke all these cigarettes, get the red hooded sweatshirt. You know, grandma's at the trailer park raising the grandkids because the parents are in prison. Talking about, I'm going to smoke enough of these cigarettes to get you a sweatshirt. I had a Marlboro sweatshirt. Like, nothing I just said is fake or anything I did not live out or see my friends living out. So I got to reassess that. I need to get real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we're gonna, like, not drink Bud Light, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you see where I'm going with this. If we're gonna treat Bud Light the way we did over old Slick being on the can, what's the appropriate response to Monsanto food? You know what I mean? We're just going to not drink Bud Light for 6 months and cost y'all, you know, $8-9 billion in revenue. And then here's Monsanto that poisoned everybody. Is that like death penalty? Like seriously, like who's the guys that did this? And is that treason? You know what I mean? And then the political people that were in bed with them. You know what I mean? And then who are these adulterous people? These adulterous scientists. I mean, they're out here gain of function research. You know what I mean? Like, makes my Agent Orange act up, boys. You've ever seen Major Pagan? There's another movie I like. It's called Law Abiding Citizen. You know, I want to be that. I want to be a law-abiding citizen in the things that I say and do, specifically to further the kingdom. Okay? And the Bible says the coward will burn. You know what I mean? And I really think this. This is the truth. I really think that if you go back to about 1900 and look at who was running America, you'll find the American family lineage aristocrats. You look at these industrialists, there's a lot, and they're in power. Their grandchildren are running things now. It's a situation. I don't know what that's got to do with everything, but I know that if I was going to take over Mexico, I can't do it with guns, but I can do it by affecting the culture. And over and over, time and time, over and over throughout history, we see how doing it, the biblical, accurate morals and ethics of Jesus, it is unstoppable. There's power in it. There is miraculous power in it. And I don't care what we're up against. My dad's bigger than your dad. So, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, take it to the utmost level. I know that you're working and going and doing. I know that you're reaching out in the ways that you reach out. But you have not taken it to the ultimate. You have not taken it to the utmost yet. And when that switch is flipped, and everybody literally does it Jesus' way, then the proper people will be in power, because that's God's blessing. That's what we see time and time again. If my people, not every heathen in the world, if the people of God will repent and put God first, He will heal the land. He will put people in position across the entire earth. And it's coming, boys. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And some people call that, like, you know, the tribulation and blah, blah, whatever. And then ushers in 1,000 years. Is that what I'm talking about? Is that what I'd like to see happen or whatever? It's above my pay grade, boys. It's above my pay grade. But that sounds like utmost to me. That sounds like utmost to me. To rule and reign on the new earth? Sure. But what about from now to like 3030? They got this Agenda 20 where they come right out and say what they want to do. Where are you at with that? Have you read the Constitution? Have you read the Bible? Have you read Agenda 2030? Have you read Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars? Do you know your opponent? Do you know yourself? Who's your daddy? You want to get prepared. Replay that line of questioning. Put that into a, top 10 list. I'd send that top 10 list out to each and every creator that's got the balls to post something like this. And, send it out. Send it out into the unseen realm. And make it make sense. Analyze that list. I'll even remember what I just said, for the record. But have you read those things? The kingdom is for whomsoever will. So when you see these things, and you'll see guys like Andy Frisella, and he'll say it straight out. I'm giving you gold. The fact is, most people will not do yet. In the Bible, specifically, it says, the promises are for whomsoever will, and it promises that his word will not come back void. Go get them.